Oh, hello there. I was doing a bit where I pretend to read and I didn't hear you come in. I'm Matt, the host and dungeon master of Tabletop Legends, a show where myself and a group of my friends adventure through a world full of mystery, intrigue, and magic as we play 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. We stream live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Proficiency Bonus Twitch channel. If you have time, we'd love for you to join us live. Back episodes and future episodes will be available right here on the Tabletop Legends YouTube channel, with the previous week's episode going up every Monday before the live stream on Twitch on Tuesday evenings. Please, enjoy. Hello! Welcome to Tabletop Legends. I'm Matt. I am your host and dungeon master, and tonight is a special occasion. Since this is episode 2, we have broken our previous record for most episodes of Tabletop Legend, which was 1 before this. So congratulations to us. We've I might do that every episode for the rest of the time.
We are on a live stream.
So, before we get tonight's episode started, let's take care of our housekeeping sponsors. Thank you to Streamlabs, Twitch affiliate program, Many-Sided Dice, and Team MZ for supporting Proficiency Bonus. As we learned that we should have turned our cell phones off before
our stream.
It was our own stream.
The sound of our own stream.
Oh boy, we're
professionals, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Marble Moon Studio and the 8th House. You can find them on social media at Shop the 8th House. That's the number 8 and Marble Moon Studio. They are an independently and ethically sourced witchy lifestyle and home goods shop, supporting small businesses and creating a safe, inclusive space / community for witchy folk. Find them at marblemoonstudio.com and shop the 8th House, again, number 8, .com. We'll hear a little bit more about them later on. And we have a surprise, which we'll get to in a minute, courtesy of those guys.
Prepare yourselves.
Welcome to tonight's stream. Thank you for joining us here on Proficiency Bonus. Do feel free to give Proficiency Bonus a follow, give us a subscribe, find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the places that you would look, Proficiency Bonus, as well as Tabletop Legends. Starting probably next week, we're going to start uploading our back episodes to YouTube. So if you missed our first episode and you can't catch it here on Twitch, or you want to just follow along as the story continues, you should be able to find us there. We are on YouTube at Tabletop Legends. Okay. Business is going to be much shorter tonight than it was originally, and we'll get right into the show. So, last couple of pieces of housekeeping business before we start. Number 1, here it is, live and in person. Unless I can't see what this looks like on the screen.
Oh my god.
My god. That is the Tabletop Legends Magic AF mug. Let's not break that one like the grandma one.
Yes.
Don't break it.
Tabletop Legends
Both
Magic
sides.
AF mug, printed on both sides.
Both sides. So everybody knows.
For righties and lefties.
Very much highly sought after on last week's stream. More so than even the extremely expensive set of collector's editions books that we gave away. And so popular that we got another one to give away. So stay tuned. At some point tonight, we're going to give away another one of these Tabletop Legends Magic AF mugs to somebody in chat. I will give you the deets on how to enter the giveaway when the time comes. Okay, and
If you win the mug upon request, we can all lick it.
Or not.
Yeah. Actually, if you don't request that we don't lick it, we're gonna lick it. So
Russell may like it.
I'll lick it.
no licking will take place on any mugs. That's what he thinks for you.
That's what he
You're gonna get us put on a list.
Some sort of list.
The last thing before we jump into the recap from last week and start playing, as we've been announcing on the various proficiency bonus streams, if you have been watching. Last week we launched a charitable thing that we're going to be doing this month in honor of Autism Awareness Month. We have gotten in contact with a charitable organization that is close to where we're located, called the Zephyr Foundation. You can find them at zeferfoundation.org. They are a small nonprofit near us that does a lot of work to support people with autism and helping to promote inclusion and support systems for people with autism and developmental disorders locally. We asked you guys, the audience, last week to give bit donations, and we would match them up to 700 that we had agreed upon, thinking, wow, that's a good number. We'll see how it goes. We hit that in like 30 minutes. And everybody else at Proficiency Bonus was so thrilled by how much everybody kind of jumped on it. They have agreed that all of the bits donated to Proficiency Bonus during this month, the month of April, are going to be added to our donation at the end of the month to make one grand total donation to the Zephyr Foundation on behalf of Proficiency Bonus and Tabletop Legends and you guys, the audience. So thank you so much to everybody last week who donated. It kind of blew our minds a little bit. I encourage you guys, if you have some bits lying around in your feed bag of bits, I don't know how to switch words.
In your bit machine.
Pocket. And you enjoy what we're doing tonight, or something funny happens or anything like that, and you want to throw them our way, that will be going towards our donation to the Zephyr Foundation. So, I don't have any other business. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right.
Captain.
So, let's start the recap. Last time on Tabletop Legends. That's terrible. The adventure began in the wee hours of the morning on 7 Leaf Fall in the year 1092, just outside a small town known as Stone Mill, near the northern border of the Kingdom of Mithlinde. A strange character, introduced as Torian Idrian, assembled a group of 6 individuals from across the 5 kingdoms and bestowed upon them a quest. Each of the 6, having made some small name for themselves within their own little corner of the world, had caught the attention of Idrian, who had been contracted by an unknown benefactor to assemble a group and extend an employment offer. Either for the coin offered, the potential prestige of working as relic hunters for an employer wealthy enough to contract that sort of work, or for personal reasons kept in confidence, each member of the group tentatively accepted a trial contract of sorts to investigate some strange goings-on in the nearby town. After resting for the remainder of the night and attempting to get to know their would-be adventuring companions, the party headed off to pay Stone Mill a visit to see where their quest would take them. The party now find themselves in the town of Stone Mill, in the midst of a mystery involving several missing persons and at least one casualty. They must tread carefully after receiving a stern warning from a Mithlindian inquisitor not to interfere with her investigation of the very same events. To further complicate matters, there appears to be another group of relic hunters already in the area. The townspeople are frightened, tensions are beginning to run high, and someone or something is on the loose. We rejoin our party as the predetermined time to meet back in the Blue Harpy Inn after separating to gather information and get back together and compare intel approaches. Nuala and Kel, you are in the market currently. Walter and Alar, you are just outside of the Mill Street Inn. And Brahm and Osrius, you are already at the Blue Harpy. Take it away. Table's yours.
Right head back.
I
glance up toward the sun. Yeah, it's about close to time.
Okay. We'll head back then.
We still haven't seen the artist, the jeweler, Rosanna.
Rosa, the
Rosa.
artist, you had not gone. You had gotten her name from the
General
the
Mall.
man who runs the general store, and you had at some point planned on buying pastries, I believe,
Yes.
but you had not done either.
You're not. Should we pick up pastries before we head back? Everyone likes pastries.
I don't know if these guys are all going to like pastries.
There may be something. Come on. Let's go.
You are free to try, and I will follow along. But I'm not optimistic.
Open the door. Hello. Anyone here?
So it takes you a few minutes. You find the shop. It is one of the actual structures on the outside of that sort of open air market. It's a small little establishment. As soon as you open the door, the smell of freshly baked breads and various sundry assorted goods meets your nostrils. There is a single individual behind a counter. He wears a sort of a rough spun, kind of like a overshirt type of garment, clearly intended to collect the dust and flour and various concoctions about in a bakery. He looks to be about middle-aged human, middling in height, close-cropped, brownish hair, streaked with a little bit of gray. He's comfortably overweight. Clearly, life as a baker has treated him well, and he rather enjoys his own product. And he smiles as you guys walk in. You see kind of a little bit of a surprise on his face, seeing you, a Dragonborn. But he kind of takes it well enough in stride. He says, good day. What can I do for you?
We were looking for some pastries or cakes, any type of sweets you have.
Oh, yes, I just baked up a fresh batch of these delightful, and he points at a shelf underneath, like his kind of front display there, of these circular, kind of like tart-looking pastries. They're roughly the size of like a cookie, and they have various multicolored little dollops of what looks like jam. Maybe there's like a strawberry, a blueberry one that looks like it might be lemon. There's a couple dozen of them in there. I baked these fresh this morning. They're delightful, if I do say so myself. How many are you interested in?
6.
6, of course. He goes about beginning to collect them out from underneath, using a pair of wooden tongs.
You know, can I get 8? Just in
Enough?
case.
Sure.
Someone 1 second. Just have a few backups.
It takes him a minute to passel everything up into a little cloth kind of knapsack that he ties up with a twine. He places on the counter with you. So those are 1 copper apiece, so 8 copper total for the whole lot.
How about we make it a silver and you give us 1 more? But if you could just finish it with some salt that looks like sugar. We like to play jokes on each other.
Weird request, but okay. Yeah, sure. He gets 1 more and goes and kind of gets some salt and sprinkles it on top of one, and he sets it on top of the already bundled up pastilles. There, so you don't get them mixed up.
What flavor is that one?
It is. Yeah, it's salt flavored.
All the flavor?
That one appears to be like a blackberry. It's got a kind of a dark,
Okay.
dark jelly on it.
Salty blackberries.
Thank you so much, and I pay the silver.
Thank you for your custom coming in anytime.
We're new to the area, but we were told that there's been, a lot of activity. What's going on?
We'll take your pick. Somebody's been nicking things in the market the past few weeks. Small stuff. I've been lucky enough to escape that myself.
Oh dear.
Some of the other shopkeepers, a lady who makes little trinkets.
The jewelry maker?
Yes, little trinkets.
Rosa?
Yes, Rosa.
Oh, Rosa.
She had something stolen from her stall. A few of the others as well. Nothing overly valuable. Lots of small stuff.
But small stuff adds up.
It does. A lot of the shop owners are quite cross about it. But that's small potatoes when you consider this whole mess going on in the woods east of here. Whatever unfortunate fate old Conrad ran into. Poor Loris, the other gentleman. They haven't found him, but from what I heard, it doesn't sound hopeful.
No, that seems to be the rumor. And that poor girl.
Oh, the Turner girl, dreadful. Well, luckily the Inquisitor and the soldiers are here. We can only hope they'll sort it all out before too long. You look like out-of-towners yourself. I know a lot of folks have been stuck here while the Inquisitor's doing our investigation.
We actually asked the Inquisitor if we could help.
Oh, did you know?
Yeah, so...
Well, you're braver than I am.
It kind of goes with the whole, adventuring territory. But
Never had a taste for it myself, but good on you. Takes a hearty stock to live that lifestyle.
That it does. But if you happen to hear anything, please pass it along.
Yeah, of course. Where will you be staying? Who should I contact if I've got anything interesting for you?
Are we at the Blue Harpy? Or
Yes.
Yes. Blue
We're
Harpy.
planning on it, but we
Blue
don't have a
Harpy.
room yet.
Yes.
Blue Harpy, and I'll tell him to look for the Dragonborn less.
I kind of.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Murray, by the way.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Of course. Shakes your hand.
All right, let's head back with these pastries then.
Okay.
All right, have a good
We're
day.
gonna
Don't get the
get
salt
some-
one mixed up.
Oh,
We'll be sure not to. Who are we gonna give that one to?
that's all you.
All right.
I'm not getting involved in that one. We head on.
Somebody says they can't hear Walter, but I don't think Walter has said anything.
He spoke in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
He was just real quiet.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Gotcha.
I'll be sure to project my voice in the future. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are heading back to the Blue Harpy as well? Alright, so, Brom, Osrius, you guys are finishing your pints that you had ordered a while ago at this point. You had a conversation with Ollie, the bartender there. You have been sort of trying to wrangle together some sort of an arm wrestling ring in the interim time, but the patrons of the Blue Harpy don't seem particularly keen. A lot of them are, as you came to note, merchants, deep heads, merchants, caravan travelers, people who had come to the town to make use of the lumber mills in the town here that give the town its name, who are currently trapped here under orders of the Inquisitor and the Home Guard conducting their investigation, and not letting anybody leave until they kind of get to the bottom of what's been going on. So the atmosphere in the Blue Harpy is not particularly jovial at the time, as most of the people who are there don't really want to be. But after some time, Walter and Alar make their appearance first, and you guys sort of reconvene, and maybe 15-20 minutes later, in come Nuala and Kel with their bag of trail rations that they had purchased at the general store, and a little parcel wrapped up in cloth and twine.
I kind of half expected this place to be recovering from a barroom brawl.
Well, we sure tried.
There is one guy who's like
One tried.
real, the guy that Braun picked on before. He's over there like nursing a
I
beer.
was trying to start an arm wrestling
tournament, so people will be distracted, and I can start getting some information from some people.
But
No big trouble.
we just asked the bartender. Things worked out fine.
Yeah. Probably got the same, if not
Not
better
more.
information from Ollie over there.
But good try.
We spoke to the general store owner and the pastry shop owner. Oh, speaking of which, who wants a pastry?
What kind of flavors we got here?
I think there's the lemon, there's a blueberry, strawberry, and a black.
I had one of these blackberry ones on the way back. They were very good.
Blackberry is my favorite.
Who else wants one?
Yeah, I'll take a lemon.
I'm alright. But thank you.
I suppose I'll do the strawberry one. Thank you.
Do you want one?
No, I already had one.
But you didn't have one.
Blink, 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 blink.
You okay there, Brown?
I don't know what you did,
What I did.
but I like it. This
I did nothing.
This is the best damn tart I've ever had, and I've had a lot of tarts.
It,
If you know what I mean, Valentin.
I didn't do any baking.
Prostitutes was the pun I was making. Sometimes you gotta explain it to parents. They don't understand.
Or they understand they're just going to let it go.
I honestly thought he meant the H.
See? You gotta spell it out for them.
Tarts alone.
These holy rollers, they don't know.
Tarts alone. What did we find out?
Well, there's been a few thefts in the area, particularly from a jewelry maker named Rosa. She's had a few trinkets stolen.
It sounds like petty problems.
Petty
Yeah,
problems.
some lady got a kid stolen.
I mean, if someone could be stealing spell components or stuff like that, we don't know what or why they're stealing them. It could just be someone who's taking advantage, but
Could be just somebody who's a real klepto and doesn't have any gauge between jewelry and kids.
We also got more information on the first guy who is no more. He seems to have liked his adult beverages
his name's Mitchell.
quite a lot.
Yeah, we know. We found that from Ollie.
Yeah, Ollie told us the same thing.
We
you guys hear
we heard
about
about Mitchell from the other place as well.
Yeah.
People said
Good,
that
everybody
seemed like-
knows about Mitchell.
Conrad
dead.
Mitchell.
Conrad Mitchell.
He's an honorary member of our group now. Good.
May,
Good.
may he rest in pieces.
Well, that is a connection, though. We all heard about it.
People said that they saw a bunch of like ghosts out in the woods.
Ghosts.
Spooks. They call them spooks.
See, we heard there were some dwarves in the area that were running about. Not really sure how reliable that is, but
So we got dwarves.
So
and
they're
we
either
got
dwarves or
ghosts.
they're spooks? This is a very drastic difference. Or some really racist people.
We also heard that the Inquisitor's forces dragged something back. Nobody knows what.
Oh.
Yeah, we also
Back to the camp, right?
Yeah, we also found out that the Inquisitor's forces really like to stick to their camp and
Yeah.
don't go anywhere else.
That means no change. or
We were
shit.
told that we might be able to get a little bit more information if we went and talked to the sheriff, the Roy Maddock, over in that building up on the hill.
Okay.
And the second victim was an out-of-towner named Winston. Still haven't found
We also
the body.
got some info. A lot of these guys are from out of town. Most of the people in this bar over here.
Yeah.
Out of
And
towners.
I don't know, but did you guys possibly know of other relic hunters that are here?
Yeah, they're staying at the other inn. 3 of them, 1 woman.
One a male and two.
What do you think?
Two males and one female.
What do you think the chances that we're not the only group Torian hired?
Well, you did
Pretty
say.
seems good at finding people.
I know how he roped me in. How did he rope any of yous in?
This is a weird situation where now we got 2 of us as a group of people in the same area. Find that a little fishy.
That guy didn't.
I mean-
that guy was fishy enough to think that. he
And
probably
anytime
got
there's
multiple teams.
old stuff to be had. There's people who are out looking for it.
But
It's not
It's
that
believe me,
unreasonable.
if I had heard of unusual happenings, I would figure there's probably a relic involved. I would have come running.
How did
before
you
this.
show up? What were you doing? What was
Well,
everybody doing?
He approached me in an alley, and let's just say he made me an offer I couldn't refuse, in which basically I was told by some people that I had to go check this out. They don't really have an opinion, and that's all I'm going to say on that matter, because that's all the likes of you need to know.
What were you doing in the alley?
Taking a leak, what does it matter? It's an alley. Don't worry about it.
Alright. Birdman.
Hey, I mean, he caught me at dinner. My wife, I fed him.
You fed him your wife?
We had some soup. It's all.
Oh, you
So
didn't
was
tell
it
me you had a
people
wife.
soup? We haven't
Was your wife in the
clarified
soup?
it.
I mean, I'm a human, so we eat normal human food. I don't know.
None of this
Yeah,
is
you're
direct.
Food, normal human food.
What's your wife's name?
Her name's Ruby.
Ruby. She
And,
must be so worried with you not home.
She knows I have an agreement, and that's why I go out on adventures. And somehow, Torian knew about the agreement too, so that's kind of why I'm here.
Yeah, he approached me, and the one thing about the Order of the Radiant Dawn is most people don't leave once they're there, but I have to find Corey. I have to find my friend, and it was an opportunity to see if I could find her.
Did he promise all of you guys something?
He knows what I need.
But we've never met this guy before.
Don't know about the rest of you, but I imagine that at some point or another, our names may have gotten out to various parties.
I don't know how that's possible. I've been up on a rock for as long as I can remember.
You lived on a rock?
Up on a mountain, which is a big rock. Yes,
What were you doing on a rock?
waiting.
Technically, we're all on a rock.
Waiting for a long
All right. Let's not get philosophical here. Technically, we're all on a rock. Technically, we're all on my ass. Shut up.
It's geology, not philosophy. But
You were waiting for what?
I was waiting for the people who killed my family to come back.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. He came to me and gave me also an offer of saying that they might not come back. So I need to go find them. And when I find them, I will kill them.
good on you for being proactive about it. I think that's something we can all aspire to.
Speaking of proactive, you haven't said too much.
I was just waiting for the proper opportunity. I was approached by him as I was doing a little bit to break up a leg of the slaving ring that runs between Mithlinde and the old Ignian Empire.
There's a slaving ring?
There's always a slaving ring.
Oh.
If only you knew. Maybe it's best you don't.
Well, if there's people in trouble, we have to help them.
These skins will always slave others. That's how it's always been.
Humans are so weird.
Humans, elves, in the case of the Empire. I'd be okay. He'd be okay. You'd probably be okay. While you're wearing that armor, you're fine. But outside that armor, you three, you don't want to go to the Empire.
Most of my people are slaves.
So, looks like we all have a common ground here. As much as we don't probably want to be here, looks like we had no choice.
Yep.
So I had a choice, and the offer
had a
made
choice.
was to...
It was one of those things where it was a choice without being a choice. It was really like you had a choice, but it was like
I definitely had a choice, but like some mysterious guy shows up out of nowhere and knows a little bit more than he should. Like that's not something that I'm super comfortable with.
And if he is indeed a member of the Bookkeepers, and I kind of think he is, not a terrible judge of character. That's some heavy stuff.
I mean,
He
mostly
didn't,
because I
he
want to
didn't tell
find
me
out
he was a
what he's
member. He
about.
told me he had contacts.
Good point.
Contacts?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you approach you again?
I don't know. Found me in a bookshop. Said he needed
Sounds right.
someone with some particular talents. He has contacts that I could make use of. So if he's going to offer them for doing something, and I get to try to find out why he knows things about me.
What does he know about you?
He knew the person that I had been traveling with. But they had died a while back.
What was their name?
Jed.
Jed?
Yep.
Jed.
Yep.
It's an unusual name.
What?
Strong name.
Jed's dead.
Are you gonna judge traditional gnomish names?
Nope.
Touching.
I'm hoping that my purchase can give us some information sometime soon. I slipped a couple coin to get one of the witnesses to come up here. Hopefully they'll be here sometime later in the evening. Have you, has anyone had any luck getting any other information from anybody directly besides the bartenders?
I got trail rations.
Useful.
But not information.
Well, I mean, we haven't been here all that long.
I mean, we might be able to find out more if some of us went to go talk to the sheriff. We can think about what our next steps are.
Did anybody hit up the fancier tavern?
You're in the fancy
You guys
tavern.
The one that we're in right
You
now.
guys did.
The shittier tavern?
Yeah,
The one that they were in.
Walter and I
We
went.
split up 3 ways to make sure we hit
Nice.
everything.
We could talk to Rosa in the market too.
I mean, is it like...
It's lunchtime-ish.
Alright. I mean, we could go do that in the afternoon if you want, but I think that's mostly going to be to...
I wouldn't recommend if we are going to the sheriff that you should be among the party that goes. That uniform opens up a lot more doors.
Do we think we could... What do we know about the other treasure hunters? Or relic hunters?
That's what I paid for a little bit. The witness also is a regular at the bar they're staying at. So I'm hoping that he can give us a little bit more information about what they've been doing in going in and out. Possibly, he said there was 3 of them.
We're gonna have to deal with them sooner or later.
We could try to follow them.
We know where they are. And money seems to talk among the residents of the town, though.
Money always talks.
I mean, we could try to follow those guys. We could try going over to the encampment and see if we can figure out what they brought back from the woods. Since we're, I guess, sort of officially involved in this.
I'm not sure they're gonna just give us anything if we ask nicely.
What about her? She can
May-
ask nightly.
Maybe.
I just need to go over and be nice.
What if we
I
don't
imagine
ask
you're
so
very good at
nicely?
that.
I say as I pull out my crowbar.
Well, there's a whole bunch of them, so...
I pull out a second crowbar.
He's gotta
Bring
bring
it
it up.
on.
Do you
He seems
always
to have 2.
resort to violence?
Not always. Usually plan A is crowbar, though.
Plan B?
You'll see plan B when it comes to plan B.
Violence is necessary.
It may or may not also involve 2
I was
crowbars.
going to say Plan B is the other crowbar. he pulled out.
Yeah, plan A, plan B.
Violence is necessary when we don't have any other options.
Well, I don't expect my contact to show up until probably the evening when the working shift is over. So we should I think the sheriff sounds like a good idea.
I'll head over to the sheriff's. Anyone want to come?
I'll go.
I'll go along with you.
What are the
Fine.
rest of us thinking? Or do we all want to go visit the sheriff?
We might as well go together.
Alright.
I mean, the sheriff is the local constabulary.
Unless anybody else thinks there's anything they need to do.
We're not going to get anywhere with the.
Well, we can go
the
try
prisoners.
to Well, we don't know that. She might be able to get a look at whatever they brought back from the woods. Or like we are more or less officially involved in this, right? You have the Inquisitor's tacit approval.
We have the Inquisitor's approval not to interfere.
Yeah, but we're helping. How can we help if they don't give us information?
If we speak to the sheriff first, we might be able to kind of work around that and act on behalf of the town. It'll give us a little bit more footing with the Inquisitors when we have approval from the local sheriff.
Well, also, again, that uniform might earn us a little bit more than even the Lithuanian
She's going
Inquisitors.
first. She is absolutely going in first.
Well, we'll go to the sheriff first.
All right.
Hey, Ollie,
Yeah.
can we have 6 rooms?
He takes a look at a board behind the behind the bar where there's a bunch of hooks with keys on them. Only got 3 left.
How many beds?
That's fine. The 3 will do.
1 bed in each.
The 3 will do.
Floors are comfortable.
How much?
5 silver a night.
Fine.
Each or all?
Alar's gonna
Each room.
pull out 2 gold.
There is a second tavern.
That should
Fine.
cover.
Will be fine.
Second
sure they are
tavern.
just
They got
paying
less
us.
rooms. And the scumbag that runs the place is jacking up his prices. Because everybody's trapped in town.
All right.
You better stick in here. Plus they got rats.
I'm believe it.
Thanks,
Alright.
thanks, Aylar.
Name's Ollie, right?
Ollie.
If we're out when a man named Jennings shows up, just have him wait for us. He should come out looking for Oz.
Alright.
Just flip him the silver.
Catches it. Disappears under the bar.
Hello.
And now?
Can you tell us anything about Sheriff?
Like his name?
Matic?
Dramatic.
Third name. Got it.
He's an alright guy. Doesn't have to do too much usually. Town's pretty quiet. Can't imagine he's too pleased with all this commotion. A little bit above his pay grade, you know what I mean?
Imagine he can't be happy also being overruled by the Mithlindian forces.
I put money he's real happy that they're here.
Why?
People getting ripped up in the woods.
Mm.
Better trained soldiers deal with it than him and his volunteer.
What's his volunteer's name?
A couple of them. Redding's kid, Landro. Hammond, Tanner, and Adelaide. Adelaide Nell.
Tanner related to the missing girl?
No. Turner is the missing girl.
Sorry. Into the area.
And he's stupid.
Middling intelligence.
That's what all the stupid ones say.
So it was Lando, Adelaide, and
Yeah, Lando Redding, the son of the proprietor of the Redding mill there. Adelaide Nell and Hammond Tanner. His volunteer, I guess deputies you call them.
It's 2 males and a female.
Good job.
I don't think they're the relic hunters, though.
Deputies. Could be.
Possibly.
I mean, the Relic Hunters seemed like they were out of towners, right?
Yeah,
It's
out of
out of
towners.
Can't imagine that out of towners would be deputy status.
Then why would they give us deputy status?
I don't think they did.
Way haven't.
Why could they? Could
They,
potentially.
Never hurts to ask. march the paladin in front of them and tell them we're here for the greater good.
Why do I feel like I'm a pawn?
You said that.
Alright. Well, let's go to the sheriff.
Okay. So it's midday at this point, a little bit after the height of the sun, although it is a little bit overcast today. So it's tough to gauge the exact time of day. But you make the trip through town from the sort of the western portion of town where the Blue Harpy is, up over that small wood bridge, and make your way towards the large rocky cliff face against which the town is set, up that sort of sloping hill where that large, sturdy-looking building you had seen on your way in, that you've come to learn as the town hall, is located. You make your way over there. So the town hall, it is a large building. It's been built, you see as you come up to it, directly against the cliff wall. At this, kind of northernmost tip of the town. The building you see is partially stone. It looks like sort of the back half of it closer to the rock wall, and looks like it's 2 stories. Like the first story appears to be constructed of stone and looks much, much older, with newer expansions put onto it that appear to be wooden and a little more modern. Anybody among you have much experience with the dwarves?
I can
Maybe
speak
somebody
Dwarvish.
like, as can I. Maybe
Okay, I did.
eclectic history picked up.
Go ahead, you guys. Anybody who might know some stuff about dwarves might could make a history check. You probably wouldn't. From where you're from.
22.
Okay.
16.
$16 as well.
Okay. So all 3 of you there with that check is good enough. Looking at this building as you approach, you can see that sort of the architecture of the older stone portion of the building and the newer additions to it are different. And the stone portion of the building has some very telltale signs of being dwarven architecture. You get the distinct impression that this is maybe an old structure that was here previously, and the inhabitants of Stone Mill have built on top of existing structures and built into this dwarven building that was here before to create their town hall.
Pretty resourceful using a old building like this to reconstruct a town hall.
Not surprising. The old empire devastated a lot of dwarven settlements. The humans found this ruin and said, "Oh, this is perfect," and reconstructed and added on from it.
We are at the foot of Krasnodar, I believe.
That too.
The foothills of the foothills of the Ujir Mountains, right on the border of Mithlande and Krasnodar.
This might be a old dwarven outpost of some kind.
Yeah. Alright, let's head on in.
Alright. Set of heavy oaken double doors push easily enough as you guys make your entrance. The room that you enter into is a large, what appears to be probably like a kind of communal gathering area. A number of benches all set in rows. This definitely seems like the type of place where a town hall meeting would be held. Certainly not large enough to house the entire population of the town at once, but easily looks like it could seat maybe 100 people in here, elbow to elbow. There's sort of a raised little platform at the front end of the room where someone giving a talk or running a meeting or something like that would kind of stand up there. off to one side, you see a staircase that is set partially into the like the existing stone of the old building. You see that a set of stone steps descends down, and there's a kind of a small landing has been created with what they built on top of this to a set of wooden steps that ascends up. There is also a on that same side. There is also a another doorway kind of towards the back of the room, and there is a wooden like placard that has been put on the wall that just has like a star on it.
Any religious iconography?
That?
No.
In this building?
Yeah.
Not that you can see.
Okay.
It's pretty austere in here.
Wasn't sure if this also doubles as the local.
You have heard tell that there is a temple in town. Somebody heard that. I believe it was you two.
Oh, okay.
There is a temple run by a dwarf.
Okay. Right.
But it is a separate building from this.
Okay.
So that's right. There's nobody in the main room that you guys are in now.
Well, 5 will get you 10. That's where the sheriff's office is. As he points toward the door next to the placard with the star.
Lead on.
All right. I'm go up to the door.
So you kind of knock on the frame. The door is, it's like an open, door frame, and you can kind of see inside, just around a slight bend. It's a fairly small, modest-looking room. There is a couple of desks that have been like sort of crammed in here. There are a number of like papers kind of scattered about on the desks. You see along one wall inside a case which is closed and has like bars on the front of it. There are a handful of like long swords that have been locked up, and there is a single human man sitting at the desk furthest from where you guys are entering. Appears to be in perhaps his mid-30s. He's not like not out of shape, but he doesn't appear to be like the perfect specimen of like a combat ready individual. He's just sort of slightly paunchy. He has several days worth of scruff unshaven on his face. He's got like fairly deep bags under his eyes. He's sitting at the desk writing with an ink fountain pen as you enter, and he kind of looks up. Yes. Can I help you? You have something to report? Some trouble?
Thormatic, right?
Yes.
Yes. My
what can I
name
do for you?
is Nula, and these are all my friends. We actually spoke to the Inquisitor, and she asked us to help you with the current situation here in town.
Did she know?
Mm-hmm.
Surprising. I didn't get the impression she was particularly friendly from my meetings with her, but fair enough.
Yeah.
She wasn't exactly friendly.
Yeah, it kind of surprised us that we were able to make that arrangement, but we wanted to get your take on what's been happening, or if you have any good leads we should follow.
I pretty much shared everything I knew with the Inquisitor. A couple of the local woodsmen came and started talking about seeing weird stuff in the woods. Animals real stirred up. Guys tell stories sometimes. We mostly try to stick to the town, make sure nothing's going amiss there. But once the old man disappeared a couple of days, sent some folks out into the woods to Maybe look, he had a habit of wandering out that way when he got a little bit too much in him, which he did a couple times a week, maybe. When they found him, we assumed it was an animal attack. He was ripped up pretty bad, but once the second person went missing, that was when we sent away the Woodpine for the guard. I got 3 volunteers. They're good kids, but townsfolk, they're not soldiers.
Right.
They're not equipped to deal with whatever's going on. Now, little girls are going missing.
Little girls? Or just one?
Just the one. But, Christ, that's on top of, it seems like this whole town's going crazy. I got shopkeepers and stall owners in the market telling me some kid or something is nicking things.
We heard that.
Yeah, and don't even get me started on the folks at the mills. They're at each other's throat again.
What's going on at the mills?
Oh, something's always going on at the mills. The Reddings and the other people who are the Reddings and the Millers. It's the 2 families that run the 2 big sawmills in the towns. They hate each other's guts. They're always on about something. This week it's a busted part for one of the mills. Redding's accusing Miller of sabotaging his mill. It's the end of the season. Last minute loggers bringing their wares in to be milled. I don't know. Of course, Redding's kid is one of my deputies, so I can't exactly have him investigating. We're up to our eyeballs around here. I'm sorry, I'm complaining. What can I do for you again? You're helping the Inquisitor?
The Inquisitor, yes, but any information could be relevant information.
You know, you're in an old dwarven building. It looks. I've seen mostly humans living here. Just wondering if maybe there's other outbuildings that are old and dwarven out in the woods. Something.
None that I ever heard of.
You know.
You could talk to the sexton over at the temple. He might maybe he knows more. He's a dwarf. Bartug Deep Mountain. If there's other old dwarven stuff around, maybe he'd know about it. But nothing I've ever heard of.
No legends, no stories.
Yeah, nothing like that. I mean, this whole area, we're right on the foothills of the mountains there. There's some dwarven settlements, within a few days' travel of here. They're friendly enough. I mean, keep to themselves mostly. They're dwarves. But our folks cross paths with them out in the hills sometimes. Even been known to do a little bit of trading, but I don't know if anything all that close to town or any old stuff out in the woods anywhere. At least not that I've ever heard of when I've lived here my whole life.
What about the missing items at the market?
Small stuff. I mean, hardly even worth looking into with everything else going on. Rosa said some trinkets were stolen. Some couple of pounds of salted beef were taken from one of the stall owners. He goes and starts flipping through some papers. A shoehorn. A lady who has a stall that does what do you call that? Where they tell your fortune and
Fortune telling?
mystic stuff. It's
Yeah.
hocus pocus, but she sells like crystals and rocks and things. A couple of little gems got nicked from her. A few other things. Just
Who would be interested in any of that kind of stuff?
I don't know. All seems pretty random to me,
Yeah.
but all little stuff.
And you said you suspected a child?
A couple of people have said that they've seen a kid running around in the market a little bit. Small town, everybody knows everybody, but nobody seems to know whose kid it is, or be able to get a good enough look at him. But started hearing about that right around the same time stuff went missing. That's the best lead I've got as to what's going on.
We'd heard that the guard had found something out in the woods. I don't suppose they were kind enough to let you know?
I heard they had some kind of a scuffle with something. I heard they brought something back, but no, the Inquisitor hasn't been sharing anything with me. Which, quite frankly, is just fine. I know how to swing a sword all right, but none of the others are ready for any of this monsters in the woods. Better that the home guard deal with it all. Hopefully they'll figure it out soon and everybody can get back to their lives.
Well, the home guard seems to be pretty heavy on the bureaucracy. They like to run by the rules. So, if you don't mind, if you could give us a slip saying you have permission, or giving us permission to maybe go in and out of the gates on the east side, maybe we can look into finding the girl, helping them out.
I mean, I can write you something. No gate on the east side. You just walk right out of town. But, I mean, for what it's worth, sure, but a piece of paper with my name on it's not going to mean anything to the home guard. But you said you were working with the Inquisitors, so you should be alright. Eh?
That
They
is
said-
fair. Yeah.
They said everyone would know by the time they switch shifts around launch, so we should be okay.
Have you heard anything of relic hunters?
Relic Hunters,
Possibly 2 males and a female.
oh, yeah. There's a couple of them, got into town 5-6 days ago, something like that.
Is this before or after everything started happening?
After this all started happening a couple of 10 days ago, when it all first started kicking off. No, those folks rolled in just before the home guard. They've been kind of poking around too, asking weird questions. But they mostly, they're not bothering anybody, so we've left them alone. Staying over at the Mill Street, I think. Friends of yours?
Nope.
Never met him.
No.
We've been hearing about them. What kind of questions were they asking?
Similar stuff to you guys. They want to know what's been going on. If I had any guesses as to cause of this, clues as to where to maybe look for the source. I don't know. They didn't seem quite so interested in being helpful as you guys. Got a little bit of a weird vibe off them, so I didn't tell them anything.
Weird how?
Just
A little more,
gut feeling.
a little more mercenary, perhaps.
A little more mercenary. A little more interested for their own gain instead of helping the people of the town here.
Humans?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely one was normal hike type of guy. Got a buddy. By all means human, but I don't know. Big. I mean, not as big as you, but big fellow. The other one wore a hood anytime I've seen her. But as far as I can tell, she's human.
Well, if we run across anything relating to anything, whether it's the petty thefts, whether it is any information about the missing girl, we will let you know as soon as we know anything.
Well, I appreciate it. Listen, as sheriff, I am able to, I guess, offer you a temporary deputization.
Badges?
No, I don't have badges, but listen, if you just keep your ear to the ground.
We will. We will be sure to let you know.
People are getting
Absolutely.
Antsy. A lot of out-of-towners stuck here. People are going missing. I don't know. People are scared.
All right,
People do stupid
we'll
things.
get to
when
the
they're
bottom
scared.
of it.
Thank you for deputizing out-of-towners.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
It's nothing
Thank you for
really.
trusting total strangers.
It's nothing really official. I'm just asking. You seem like good folks. If you hear anything, give me a tip off. There's a little bit of coin in it, if you can.
Absolutely.
We will do what we can.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we
I
will.
appreciate it. Good luck.
Head out.
There you go.
Got a minor illusion, a little sheriff star on my thing that says
Sheriff
number one official deputy.
Disguise self and give myself a little deputy badge as well.
All right.
You guys don't have badges.
You don't have one either, as I poke the spot where the badge is.
That is directly on my nipple, A-Law. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I think he means go in a circle.
Nah,
Alright.
he can take care of that himself.
Shovel McGee.
Well, where do you want to go next? Should we start checking the woods for the Turner girl? Or...
It sounds like
The Turner residence is on the east side of town. You guys
We
know
were
that.
told to stay away from that. But I
They're
don't.
pretty explicit.
until the
I-
guard change.
Until the
Oh,
guard change,
I was gonna
yes.
say that because I don't necessarily care anyway because I'll go wherever I want. So
I mean, it sounds like most of the action happens
In the east.
in the east side of town. I don't know if it's going to happen during the day though.
So, I have hopefully my informant coming at night. Maybe you should check the temple first and meet back.
I mean, we can go to the temple. We can go talk to the Millers and the Reddings.
We can raid the camp.
We can
think
check the
raid
market.
Possibly.
Raiding the camp is probably aggressive.
guard camp, maybe take it down a few notches.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's-
we do have Plan A and Plan B. How could things possibly go wrong?
How far are we from the camp? Where is the like? They put it on the west side of town, I believe.
It's on the sort of
Like the-
it's a little bit south of the town, and on the east side of the river and the main road where you came in. The town is not very big. From
Yeah.
where you guys are, it'd take you 15 minutes to walk from where you are to the Inquisitor's camp.
I'd sooner do the temple first.
I think we should. Yeah.
Alright, let's go to the temple.
Might be able to send Morgan up.
Whatever is in what was ever in that woods is in that camp. Sooner or later,
I mean,
we
there's
need to know.
a lot of things out in the woods.
Trees.
Doesn't it mean that there's only one?
Doesn't mean there's a lot of secrets though too.
Oh,
Well,
if there are secrets, perhaps someone's confessed them to the good sextant.
Let's go to the temple first. Start
I
walking.
think you're leading the way again.
Start walking to the temple.
Okay.
Following a step behind the paladin.
All right. Back across the bridge to the west side of town, over towards the temple. Takes you just a few minutes to walk there. You get a number of looks making your way through town with a dragonborn and a Goliath and a half-orc in tow.
Making my way downtown.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're Bard.
Flagger Paul.
So you make your way through the town, and you eventually arrive at the temple. The temple is a old building, but clearly part of the more recent wave of construction that was done when the town was built here, rather than an existing structure. It is fairly generic looking. You get the impression immediately from the outside of it. It's like many a little temple or chapel you've seen in various towns, where it's sort of just kind of a generic place that followers of any given god can gather and offer prayers to their various deities.
So there might be a couple of different shrines inside for
Right.
major deities.
As you guys make your way to the door, you see it is a heavy metal door, not of any particular fanciness, but it is a sturdy looking door. And there is a symbol on the door, embossed of what appears to be a blooming rose that is well worn, as if over years and years. It almost looks as if people have a habit of coming and brushing their hand over this symbol. There are a number of windows along the sides of this building. There is what appears to be a very small bell tower up the top of it, and the door is currently closed, but you don't get the impression that it's this building is sealed down or anything like that. The windows, they have shutters, which are open, and the windows are all flung wide open currently.
Religion check.
Sure, go ahead.
That's an 11.
You are fairly certain that this is a that symbol is the symbol of Shantia, who is a goddess typically worshipped by farmers. She's kind of like a goddess of agriculture and fertility. So not surprising to see her symbol on the door of this temple in this sort of small little homesteader type town way out in the middle of nowhere here.
I will go up to the door.
Okay, so you kind of knock. There's a sort of an echoing kind of from the inside as you knock on the metal door, and you hear from some distance off from the door, sounds like maybe towards the back of the building. You hear kind of a muffled voice as it goes, "Well, you don't have to knock. It's open. Come in, please."
Hello?
You open. You see the space is largely empty. There are a few, like you had guessed, a few kind of generic-looking shrines placed at different places. Some seats with kneelers around each of them. A small basin that has water in it, but also you see has a number of kind of coins in it. Is right inside the door there. At the front of the back of the room, you see there is a stout, aged-looking dwarf wearing very simple, cleric's robes. He had been in the process of he was sweeping up over near where you see the doors that probably lead back to his chambers or another part of the temple. And he sort of sets his broom aside when he sees you guys come in, and he comes over and he sort of walks with a very stiff hobble, as if he's suffering from arthritis. You come over, you see his beard is long and neatly braided, clearly well kept for, although mostly gray at this point. Looks like it might have been an auburn color in his youth, but is now faded with age. His hair, likewise, is pulled into sort of almost like a top knot on the top of his head and trimmed short. And he kind of looks at you with these two, like, his eyes are basically solid black, which if any of you have encountered a dwarf at any point in your life, it's like these flinty little black eyes of dwarves. But there are what appear to be like laugh lines around his eyes. He looks friendly enough. He kind of hoddles his way up to you and says, "Oh, welcome. We haven't been getting many visitors to the temples these last few days. Come. All are free to worship here."
And I will say in Dwarvish, thank you very much for letting us enter.
He responds in Dwarvish, "Oh, you speak the tongue? That's a rare sight for someone outside of our own kind. Especially someone as, he sort of looks you up and down, exotic looking as you."
And I'll switch back to common so everyone can hear.
So this Nula and this individual have a kind of this exchange in this very like harsh, clipped, kind of gravelly, guttural language for a few moments. And then he kind of follows your lead and switches back to common. He says, "Well, don't let me stand in your way. You're free to worship as you wish. I'll be over there if you need anything."
Is there a shrine to Helm?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
1, 2, Mystra, Goddess of Magic.
No, that one you do not see.
Thank you very much, and I'll go to Helm and
Kind of gets out of your way, goes back and kind of grabs his broom and continues his sweeping.
after a few minutes of praying, I'll get back up and try to grip again.
So, we're just gonna hang out here. I don't know you guys, I'm not super comfortable in places of worship.
Why is that?
It's just not my thing.
I'm with him on this.
Well,
Gives me the grapes.
you can either wait outside, but I'm gonna ask our friend here if he has any information on what's been going on. And I will walk back towards the door.
Okay. He pauses as you approach him. Oi, what can I do for you, lass?
Well, the Inquisitor asked us to assist in all the weird stuff that's been going on in the town. Wondering if you've had any information or anywhere we should look.
Inquisitor, eh?
Not a fan?
I'll tell you the same thing I told the elf. Got no information, and the mausoleum is off limits. I don't know why she thought sending different group was going to change my answer, but it's not proper. I'll not be letting anybody in there. If she wants to keep good on her threat, she can throw me in jail. That's fine.
Why would she be interested in the mausoleum?
Hell if I know. It's exactly what I said. Told me it was critical to whatever her investigation is. I told her that if there were any evidence that going into an old crypt had anything to do with what was going on the east side of town in the woods, I'd perhaps be more obliging. Well, that does not seem to be the case in my estimation. And it would defile the burial of those laid at rest there. For people to go traipsing about, bringing their boots. That mausoleum is older than this town. The dwarves at rest in there. I don't live among my people anymore, but I've still got my respect. I'll not be letting some elf go traipsing around in their resting place. That's all I've got to say on the matter.
It's understandable.
More than fair.
Yeah.
In Dwarvish, I understand, as I'm rubbing my old wound, I understand what it means to revere the tombs, and I've had some run-ins with grave robbers before. If you need us, please reach out. if someone tries to break in, we'll certainly help.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Also, I was entirely in Dwarvish.
I heard.
Oh,
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
He nods. Well, at least you lot have got more respect than her high fanciness the Miss Inquisitor does. I at least appreciate that. You're helping look into what's happened here then, you said.
That's the plan.
Yes, by chance, speaking of those that might be a little less respectful of ancient revered spaces, you haven't had a trio of outsiders also poking around recently.
Oh, that greasy bastard and his friends! Aye, they've been here.
The cloaked woman and
Aye, cloaked woman, big fella.
yeah.
Smarmy looking bloke.
Mm. Have
Should
they
be. They came through, asking questions. Wanted to know what the Inquisitor had been after. And asked a few too many pointed questions about the mausoleum. Supposed to be a man of the cloth these days, but yeah. Dwarves and our tempers, aye.
A few knocked heads might knock some sense into them.
I ran him off.
Any idea where they're staying or where they like to hang out? Where
No,
we
I
can
haven't.
find them.
I haven't seen them since they came in a day or so ago. I've been mostly keeping to myself. Somebody said something about a dwarf being the culprit behind poor little Mina Turner's disappearance.
Mm.
Well, there's not many dwarves in Stone Mill, so naturally folks have started giving me the eye when I'm out in the street. Even had a little bit of an incident here myself the other night, so I've been keeping my head low.
What happened?
Incident.
Middle of the night, a few nights ago, I was out there scraping on the door. Sounded like they were trying to break in. Well, I'm no coward, but I'm an old man. I'm not as fighting fit as I used to be. I just kept the door barred and stayed in here. When I went out in the morning, there's no one there.
Hmm.
I didn't see anything nicked from the outside of the building or anything like that. Just a weird little pile of ash, as if somebody had, I don't know, set a small fire or something.
Right by the door, you said?
Right by the door.
Did you clean it up, or is it still?
Oh no, I swept it away.
Any markings on the door? You said you'd heard scratching.
I didn't see anything. It's a pretty sturdy door.
Hmm.
Is the mausoleum the same age as the town hall? Or is it older?
The original part of the town hall. Yeah, I believe it's exists here. The graveyard here, as it is now, was built onto the existing where the mausoleum was. It dates back to the same time the dwarven settlement that was here long ago.
This is a whole settlement, not just like one family that lived here.
Hard to say. So much has been lost to time. There's not that much evidence that there were a lot of buildings here. The mausoleum, what they built the town hall on, one or two other small bits of maybe what used to be a wall here or there throughout the town. You can find them if you look around. But I don't know of anything that was here before.
Were they your relatives?
Oh no, I'm from much further on the western portion of the Uder mountain range. I took up the cloth and moved out here on my own some many years ago now. No, I'm not all that familiar with the ruins of this region.
The mausoleum is here in the temple.
Hey, out back in the graveyard.
Interesting. If it comes to it, do you mind if we possibly stay the night
Here, not
here in the temple,
Yeah,
in case of that scratching again?
I suppose if you're really interested in it, then yeah, I don't see any harm in it.
We may not need to, but if you're okay with us using the temple for that purpose, then it might help.
Things have been getting a little weird, and it's good to have a friend.
Aye, I can agree to that. Nobody's tried anything overly foolish yet, but you just leave it to the crowd at the Mill Street to have a few too many one of these nights. People going missing, talking like it's dwarves. Ridiculous. It's the last thing I need is an angry pitchfork-wielding mob to be kicking down my door.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We'll reach out in Dwarvish if we come to if we're going to come to assist. So.
Fair enough.
No.
I appreciate the offer.
Out of curiosity, you're saying people are mentioning that they think dwarves are to blame. We heard stories that people were seeing spooks and ghosts. Are there any stories related to either the mountains nearby or the mausoleum? Like any legends, ghost stories, anything like that that might explain some of this, or at least explain why some people are interested in the mausoleum?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
You got the normal stuff. I mean, people are always seeing goat people and other such creepies out in the woods, but nothing anybody ever takes too seriously. Years ago, there was a nest of harpies in the hills not too far from here, but as far as I know, they moved further off east. Every now and again, somebody claims that they hear one of them out in the woods, but nobody's seen one as long as I can remember.
Alright.
I think we should be back at the Blue Harpy by nightfall. If you need to send for someone, but I believe we're gonna go see about the missing girl.
Aye. Poor mother. I thought to visit her myself, but I've been trying to stay off the streets lately. She won't leave the house. In case the girl comes back, you know.
We'll certainly pass the regards on.
Indeed. If you can convince her to go stay with a friend closer to the centre of town. She doesn't listen to reason so far, but someone already got into her house once. Hey, it was too far on the outskirts. Be safer if she was further in, hey?
Well,
Is there a friend that she would stay with?
Oh, yeah, everyone knows everyone here. A few folks have tried, I believe, but she's not having it.
Well, thank you so much for your help.
Of course, good luck.
As I leave, I have the coins.
Alar will drop a couple of copper into the water basin as well. I'd like to get a look at the outside of the mausoleum.
Sure.
Yeah,
It can't hurt to poke around a little bit as long as you don't go too near it.
So as you exit the graveyard, it's easy enough to just kind of like go around the side a little bit. Look, there is a small fenced-in graveyard, no more than maybe a half an acre's worth of space. A number of headstones in place there, but you see distinctively one structure strikes your eye. Much like pretty much everywhere else in Stone Mill, the ground is very uneven, and kind of rocky. So towards the back of this small graveyard, at a place where the ground sort of rises up a little bit, you see that sort of like pseudo into the ground, there is a very stocky, squared, dwarven architecture little structure, clearly based on, you know, just the way you're able to kind of look at it. You see that it's definitely been built only slightly above the ground, and the rest of it likely goes down beneath, only leaving kind of part of it up top, with a like an angled, almost like cellar door looking door of stone with an oddly shaped like cutout between where the two pieces of the doors meet, where it looks like something would like slot into it.
Alar's gonna spend a little time investigating.
Okay.
For the role. See if it's been recently opened, tampered with. Investigation. That's a 15.
Not that you can tell. As you kind of look, you look for any signs of like tool marks, you know, or maybe somebody tried to pry it open or something like that. You don't see anything in like anywhere on the door, but the stone does look relatively, it's a relatively hard stone and it's been polished pretty smooth. Go ahead.
Do I get any impression it's similar to the one that was from my town, or
No.
not? It's just
Probably older.
Okay.
And clearly, of dwarven architecture, where yours was not a.
Any dwarvish ruins?
Not that you can. You see, like, along kind of the top of it, an imprint where maybe there was, but it's like barely more than just like a faint shadow of what had been there, just worn away by time.
All I'm gonna say is, if I was a relic, that's where I'd be.
That's the impression I'm getting as well.
Oh yeah.
We probably shouldn't let on that we're here for that, though. Might lose the trust that we've gained so far.
It sounded like Bartek would be willing to let us get into the mausoleum if we could prove that there was a need to get in there.
I don't disagree. I think that might be a good direction.
It also might be worth us spending the night here to figure out what that scratching is, just to be in his good graces.
Well,
in case.
probably about 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon by this point.
Alar's gonna
Around there.
head back to the entrance to the temple. He's gonna look around near the door and make an investigation check for unusual footprints. Not that I expect to find anything. That too is a 15. Man, I'm just rolling 15s all over the place.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell. This is a fairly well-trafficked area, so there's nothing that necessarily sticks out. Again, on closer inspection of that door, as Bartok had said, you don't see any marks where the door had been. Looks like it was tampered with.
Doesn't help that he also swept.
He did sweep away, whatever this weird dust that he said he had found, or ash.
I might be able to get Morgan over the wall of the encampment. Maybe sneak a look at what they have over there.
The encampment is basically just like a group of tents in sort of a gathered area. There's no permanent structure.
There's no walls
No,
that they
nope.
set up.
This is basically where they kind of like rolled in and camped. I mean, there's some like half wall, like low wooden like fortifications, but it's not like something that needs to be flown over.
Do we want to do that now, or do we want to go check on Turner?
While we're relatively close, we should probably try to sneak a look, but I don't really want to go too near it, lest they, shoo us away.
Mm-hmm.
How far away can Morgan go from you?
A couple dozen feet, maybe about 100. So I have to get kind of close, but if we
give me an hour or so. I also need to pick up some supplies in town. Might be able to double that amount of eyes.
Do you have a raven?
Not yet.
It sounds like a great time for a picnic. Wonder if there's anywhere near the camp that we could set one up. Wink.
I think I have some more pastries though.
I'll need to head to the market. I need to pick up a couple of things. It'll
I also want to pick up some stuff.
nice little brazier, for cooking up a few things.
I guess we can take a look around and see if there's anywhere that's reasonably close but not suspiciously so.
Yeah.
And then while they're at the market,
You can also try to go talk to the millers while they're at the market.
could do that.
Yeah.
I'll stay here and scout around and see what I can find if you guys want to go up to the millers.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not in a rush to get involved in more things. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see
Maybe
what they have, get an idea, and then maybe go back out and visit the girl.
maybe we should all head to the market. I'll try to talk to Rosa while you go pick up some of the stuff.
I mean,
And then,
you can go to the market with them.
alright, I'll go.
Maybe like
Yeah, we'll poke
you
around
could
here.
poke around here or like wander over to the east side and see if there's.
I mean, I guess if they need about an hour, we can go east and see if we can talk to the. No, it's. You want to go over that because it's a couple minutes out of town that they live, right?
The Turner residence?
Yeah.
No, it's like pretty much like one of the last houses before
Oh,
like
yeah. Then
the woods start.
if we could reasonably get there and back
Oh yeah,
when they're.
they're right like within town.
Oh yeah. Let's go see if we can talk to her while they're getting their shopping done.
Okay, so it sounds like the three you want to go to the market. Two of us want to go check out the Turner residence.
I was gonna
Lady
say hi.
Buzzards.
Sure.
Let us. Okay, so looks like you guys have some plans to make. I am trying to remember the. Carlos? Did I give you the sticky note that had those like commands on it last week?
You did.
What I'm gonna do, I think this is a good place to take our mid-session break here. I am going to see if I assume this is still set up.
Up until it's not.
We're going to open the giveaway. Ba-bow.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe not.
Yep, giveaway open.
No, I typed that. It didn't. Moobot didn't say
Oh.
anything though.
Is it supposed to have an exclamation point first?
Yes.
No, wait a minute.
Please stand by.
Ooh, it's a good thing we're taking a break. My leg just fell asleep. Boop. That's not.
Provision bonus says needs a space. Maybe it needs more spaces.
All the spaces.
It just needs its own space.
Wait, is there a
Give it a
space between
moment.
an exclamation point?
I don't know. We're gonna keep trying
After
variations
giveaway.
until
Space
this.
after giveaway.
Giveaway.
Exclamation point giveaway, space open.
open.
So there's no space between the exclamation point and giveaway.
All right. Third
Provision
time's the
bonus
charm.
die.
Hey, there it goes. So, we're gonna start our break, but I have opened the after after a bunch of false starts there. I have opened the giveaway there. So,
Open the giveaway.
mug. If you want to enter to win the this new mug that we're gonna give away, you can start entering legends in the chat to be put in the giveaway.
Hit it now.
So feel free to
Do
go
it!
ahead.
Do it now!
Look at that beautiful mug.
And keep donating those bits for
Keep
Zephyr House.
donating the bits.
Zephyr House. Keep donating
What
bits
is
to donate
Zephyr
for
Foundation.
the Zephyr
Where did I
Foundation.
get house from?
Legends, I don't know. Legends in the chat for the mug, and we will be back in 5 to 8 minutes for the second half of tonight's episode, where at some point somebody needs to fight something because we've been talking for a long time.
Break some
We'll
knees.
see how it goes as they
want to
continue
kill
their
something.
investigation. The plot thickens. Alrighty, so enter away for the giveaway. We'll see how many entries we've got. Maybe we'll wait till the end of the episode to actually do the giveaway.
Enter it now.
So yeah, surprise, we're back. Welcome back. So we have all peed.
Yep.
On each other.
Oh no.
Ooh.
First the mug licking thing.
Now we get that.
We just had a conversation that there's children watching. Contain yourself.
P is fine.
Oh my god. Welcome back.
What's wrong with you?
Welcome back. I hope you've all enjoyed your break. Continue to enter legends in the chat to enter to win the mug, which we'll draw a winner for at the end of tonight's episode. Once again, I want to thank our presenting sponsor, Marble Moon Studio and the 8th House. They are super cool and make cool mugs for us that we can give away and also that you can buy. Reminder that if you like this super cool mug but you don't win it tonight, you can go to Marble Moon's website and purchase one there, and you can use the promo code LEGENDS20 for 20% off your order, which I think with the code included they're like $12, right?
Yep. And
So
that ends next week.
that ends next week.
Pre-orders end next week.
Honestly, what better are you going to do with $12? Besides get
a mug. And she can correct me in stream if I'm incorrect, but I believe she did tell me that they were going to have some talks, and they're going to donate a portion of the proceeds from mug sales to our Zephyr donation as well. So everybody getting in on.
So a nice place to hold your beverage, way to show off your geek cred, and you get to help people
And
all
you
at
get
the
to help
same
a cause.
time.
A great cause.
You might as well kick it back to the feed. That's like everybody's talking, but nobody can see anybody. Might as well go to the full table feed. So mugs. Thank you to Marble Moon Studio and the 8th House for sponsoring. Continue to donate bits throughout the evening, please, please, please. For the Zephyr Foundation, we'll be collecting all month long to make a big donation at the end of the month for autism. I don't think I have any other bits of business. I think we're ready to start. So, when we left off before break, you guys were preparing your next phase of your investigations, and I believe there was some splitting up about to be happening. Some folks were going to the market, yes?
Yes.
Who's going to the market? Nula, Brahm, Alar. Yes? Okay. And the other three of you, where are you off to?
The Turner residence.
Turn the woods.
Okay.
Going in the woods.
Going to the woods.
Or the Turner
No, we're going to
residence.
the Turner residence. Near the woods.
Oh,
Near the woods. Nearish.
I thought he was just going off into the woods.
I'm just going on
It's on like
into the
the
woods.
east side
Murder
of
some
town where all
trees.
of the,
I mean,
the
I'm
happenings.
not
Where the
going to
woods
stop you. I'm like a fifth of your size.
True. Football size.
And the gnomes in the woods.
You could throw me into the woods, and I wouldn't have a choice.
Look, I'm looking to punt something.
Okay, we'll keep that on the list for later when we get bored.
Ah, yes, the tactical throwing
Kel
of the
bomb.
gnome, known in the ancient gnomish culture as yeeting.
Yeeting, yes, ye old yeeting.
I am down for some Kel bomb.
Oh my god.
Okay.
That needs to be changed.
I already lost my train of thought.
We were on
You
yeeting.
three, yeeting your way on over to the market. Brahm, Nula, Alar. You head back to the market. Stalls aplenty. A couple of people milling their way about, doing their shopping. But sort of the overcastness of the day, in addition to kind of the high tensions and the whole ordeal going on in town, seem to have driven a lot of the potential market goers elsewhere. What is your plan?
I'm going to look for Rosa.
Okay.
I will go with her.
All right.
Rose is the jeweler, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
She's also a metalsmith, or she just strictly do jewelry?
As it was explained to them, she makes like little. It's basically like little homemade like jewelry and trinkets. Yeah.
Then I am going to stroll the market looking for a few various some food for our little picnic, as well as a couple of spell components, specifically a brass brazier, some charcoal, incense, some herbs.
Okay. Alrighty.
I'm also looking for ball bearings. I don't know if that's general store.
Probably general store.
Okay, I'll do that after. Visit the lady.
Alrighty. It takes you guys a few minutes of kind of asking around before somebody points you over to Rose's stall. She is a late middle-aged woman, a little heavy set, wearing kind of a plain just town dress. Her hair is reddish, very frizzy, and gathered up in a single big, like, unkempt bun on the back of her head. Around her, she has a small table with a little kind of tent thing set up over her. On her table are a number of little trinkets and doodads and like bangles. All of it clearly very, very homemade, very like flea market-y type stuff. Looks at a lot of things like twine and little crystals and polished stones, like some stuff wrapped in like wire. Nothing that looks particularly expensive or couldn't be just crafted at home by somebody. But she's greets you warmly enough as you approach her, and she says, "Oh, hello.
Hello.
Take a look. Everything here is for sale. Can I interest you?" Ooh, she looks. She says, "Oh, this would look lovely on you." And she picks up a sort of a metal little bangle, just like a little bracelet thing. She says, "Ooh, maybe this, or perhaps I have some necklaces here. A few other things. Whatever strikes your fancy. Please look around."
Thank you so much. We had talked to the sheriff earlier, and he had mentioned some of the trouble you've been having.
Yes, somebody snatched a few things off my table just a few days ago. It is what it is.
But you worked hard for them.
I did, and I'm not very happy about it, but I told the sheriff I've done what I can do. No sense in getting my head all worried over it.
Any guesses as to who might have done it?
Some youngin' has been running around the market these past few days. I tell you, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine over there. Tess, tell these folks, weren't we? We were just having a chat. I turned to tell Tess about something that my husband had said to me the other night, and when I look back, all I see, just a little pair of legs and a cloak goes running off in that direction. She points towards like the western, northwestern area. I know most of the children in town, but I didn't get a good look at them, and there wasn't anybody I recognized. If I find out, though, I'm going to give their parents a good talking to.
Yes.
Aside from being short, was the child abnormally bulky for a child?
No, not really. Just looked like maybe, I don't know, about the size of a 6-year-old, perhaps?
So, no chance you could have mistaken it for a dwarf?
Oh, no heavens, no, not a dwarf at all. No, just a wee little thing.
And too tall to be a gnome?
Probably.
Okay. By the way, do you do special requests?
Sure. What are you looking for?
Can I get 6 sheriff badges? Can you do that?
What?
They don't need to be big and they don't need to be fancy. Just like a badge, official deputy badges. We got deputized by the sheriff, but he didn't have any badges, so we want to be official, going about our business.
Make a persuasion.
Okay. 21.
I can try. I'm not really a metalsmith. I suppose I could try and fashion something. If you give me maybe a day.
They don't have to be nice. Just whatever you can manage.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
Of course.
Was there anything in common with what was stolen? Like, any theme?
No, not that I know. I talked to a couple of the other stall owners who've had things stolen. Just, it was all small, mostly. Things, things that a child could easily grab up and snatch.
Do you remember what pieces you took?
It was a necklace, I believe, that had a very, very pretty crystal on the end of it. That I bought from a merchant who came through the other season, and a small multi-looped bracelet with beads woven into it. They were together or near each other on the table, as if the young man or woman had just sort of quickly grabbed whatever they could get and run off.
Okay. Well, if we get any more information, we'll be sure to let you know.
Oh, please do.
What color was the cloak this child was wearing?
This like a dark kind of charcoaly color. It looked a little ratty, to be honest.
That'll be distinct.
Yeah, kind of dirty, a little frayed at the bottom.
Well, everybody around here is kind of dirty, so...
By your standards, maybe.
It should probably be your standards, too. Anyway. How much you think that those, them badges are gonna cost?
Them doors there.
Couldn't say the word badges.
Smooth.
She says, well, I'll have to see what sort of things I've got in my crafting supplies back at home. It depends on what I end up having to make them out of, but for 6 of them, you said something just about yay big. Ooh, yeah. Maybe a gold apiece.
Okay.
Well, if you come back tomorrow, I'll if I don't have something, I'll at least have a better idea of perhaps what I can whip up for you. You can take a look.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Okay.
Alright, what else are you doing in the market? Anything?
Did you get
Like I said,
You got so easy enough for you to find what you need. There's a handful of folks here that clearly have set up stalls that are much more like kind of ramshackle than the ones that you get the impression are like those of the townsfolk. Seems a number of the kind of traveling merchants or caravans that are stuck here are making the best of it by sort of selling some wares. So you're able to find the various components you need by going to a few different individuals.
Okay.
Likely you probably get the impression you would not have been able to find sort of these specific reagents otherwise, but you luck out and you manage to get everything you need.
Right. And I'll pick up a little bit of picnic-style food from some of the various...
Easy enough.
cheeses?
Yeah, cheeses, meats, some more bread from that baker.
Yes.
I have to go to the general store. You want to come?
Sure.
Okay. Off to the general store we go.
If I happen to see them hang that way, I will fall into step with them at some point.
Easy enough. You kind of they're
Very distinctive.
very distinctive among the market. So you kind of easily enough link up with them, then head off to the general store led by Nula, who had been there just a couple of hours ago at this point. So you guys enter. Edgar Teak is still behind the counter there. He looks up as he sees you come in, and oh, you're back, are you?
Yeah.
Forget something. Is there something else you need?
We were gonna get some snacks for a picnic. Do you have any apples or?
Oh, of course. Over there.
All right.
Let's do a big barrel in the corner.
And I picked probably 10 apples.
Good afternoon, my fine-looking gentleman there.
Good afternoon yourself.
I am looking for ball bearings. You got any of them? You can help me out with that?
Ball bearing. maybe. Hang on a minute. And he actually goes out like a door. And you hear him, sounds like he's going like outside. And you hear like some rustling of like what sounds like crates or something inside like a shed maybe. And after about 5 minutes, he comes back with a very dusty looking box. And he goes, wouldn't you know it? Ball bearings!
Alright.
Got them in here years ago. The Reading Mill was going to put in some kind of a modification. I don't know. They ordered them. They ended up not needing them. They've been sitting in my shed for probably 6 years.
Oh, well, lovely. They should be quite the bargain then.
Yeah, you know what? If you're looking to take them off my hands, I'll do you a deal. 3 gold for the whole lot of them.
There you go. What a fine gentleman. I'll take those right off your hands.
He like cracks them open, lifts out, they're like in a sack inside. There you go. Cleaned out some space in my shed.
Spring cleaning, you know.
Yes, indeed. It's late fall, but no time like the present.
Late fall, but he's a real bad procrastinator.
And I'll take these apples. How much?
Oh, apples. 5 silver for the lot.
You got any some delicacies maybe in the food department there, my good demi-go?
No, we've pretty much just carried standard fare here. Some of the other stalls might have some of the nicer stuff. The bakery's lovely.
Yeah, picked up some.
We had some pastries from there. What's your favorite pastry there?
Well, I can't eat the sweets too much these days. And he kind of pats his stomach and says, the sugar keeps me up all night.
Yeah.
Oh, you should try a blackberry one covered with salt.
Salt.
Yeah, that's what this one tried to give me earlier. It wasn't bad.
I didn't give it to you.
Oh, the gnome.
He makes a sourdough that I really fancy when I'm in the mood for something special.
Oh, does it have olives in it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my
Olives are
Oh my god, this man thinks sourdough is special.
a little hard. Olives are a little hard to come by this far north.
This town is slowly killing me. Anyway, okay, so we'll check out some of the other dealers then. Anybody sell some fancy ports or anything? We'll have to go to the tavern for that.
Yeah, probably the tavern's your best bet for that.
Alrighty. It's gonna be one hell of a picnic.
Yeah, the caravans might have ale or something.
Maybe some root beer?
Alar's just gonna look at you for a moment.
What's wrong with root beer?
I think the easier list is what's wrong, what's right with root beer, and the answer is nothing.
No, it's all right. She likes root beer. She probably likes sarsaparilla and similar things. That's
also,
all right.
the alcohol content, Dragonborn. Can be problematic.
You can't handle your booze?
More likely, it adds a second breath weapon.
What, like stanky breath or something?
More like added fire breath.
Alright. Breathe the other direction for me if we go drinking. Alright, I'm gonna go check the stilts.
Have a good day.
Thank you. I put the ball bearings in my bag.
Okay. The 1,000 ball bearings.
Alright.
That's a lot more.
Let's see.
They're not very big. It's
Let's
only
see
a
what
sack about.
Let's see what else comes into play later.
All right, so you're heading for other stalls there.
Yep.
Okay, make an investigation check as you kind of search around the market for the things you're looking for. And what is everybody's passive perceptions?
Passive perception is a. Where is
My
it?
roll was a
Where is
17,
it?
by the way.
Wait,
14. 14?
And my
11.
and my passive perception is 11. So
Okay.
17 on the roll for 11.
As you guys are kind of walking around the market, Brahm, as you are specifically kind of looking into stalls to see what you can see, something catches your attention as you're sort of wending your way through these various stalls. The better part of most of the way across to the other side of this market, towards like the sort of northwestern edge of it, heading off in the direction of like the way that the cliff face and the falls are, you catch sight of a hood and like the bottom of a charcoaly colored, slightly tattered cloak, small cloaked figure, like dart between two stalls.
Did it look like the figure saw me?
No, you do not get that impression. It's well off from where you are currently.
I'm gonna beeline directly to where I saw the cloak.
Okay.
Gonna follow right after.
Yep.
All right. So, Brahm very suddenly like changes direction and starts like purposefully.
And I without speaking, I like give a go around each side.
I go on the
Aylar's gonna duck to the left if she's ducking to the right, or vice versa.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys start making your way through the market very quickly, heading towards the far side where you saw this small figure disappear. Few 30 seconds or so passes. You guys kind of move your way. You're able to move fairly quickly. It's not too crowded, so you kind of like between stalls. Brahm, you taking the most direct route, are the first one to reach the far side of the market. Followed shortly thereafter by Nuala and Aylar as they come around and converge. And you find yourself standing sort of on the northern border of this open market, right on the road. And you look to the north, one of the two mills you can now see is just up ahead of you, and is sitting just on the side of where the waterfall comes down. There's a large water wheel attached to this mill where it flanks this slight side of the river here. That is up a little bit to your right, and you are just in time as you break here to catch a small figure disappear about 60 feet off around the side of one of the buildings that comprises the one mill on this side, heading in the direction of the cliff face and the waterfall.
I pursue.
All right.
I'm racing right after him.
All right. So at this point, as you guys like start to move, you lose sight of this figure as it goes around one of the buildings. It takes you 30, 40 seconds or so to like run over there and catch up, and you find yourself now at the back side of one of the two mills on one side of the where this river comes down. The falls are maybe 100 feet or so off to your right, and you're basically standing at the base of a 1,000-foot sheer cliff face that the entire town is backed up against. You are within a number of pine trees where they have not been cleared this close to sort of the back of the town. Go ahead and make perception checks.
Ooh, nat 20
Okay.
plus 1.
18.
17.
Okay.
So everybody's kind of like looking around quickly. And Nuala, you're the first one you spot. A small figure is in the process of working their way right along the base of the cliff face, and you see them like slip into the mist where the waterfall is coming down.
There, in the waterfall.
All right.
And I like put my shield up to like crest the water. So I don't.
Gonna start climbing.
You don't have to climb. You basically, it's basically like the, where the it's it's uneven and kind of rocky and stuff, but where the cliff face comes down and meets the ground, you see this figure darts like right along the cliff face and like behind where the waterfall is coming down.
Okay.
You will have to make as you pursue. So as you guys are making your way, you're pursuing like into the waterfall or yourself. Okay. Make a dexterity check for me as you guys work your way onto what turns out to be a very narrow, very slippery.
One.
Okay. Very
Natural
slippery.
20.
Okay.
So that's a 6.
Okay.
15.
All right. Very slippery. Maybe half a foot wide. Little slightly jagged, slightly crumbling outcropping of rock right against the cliff face that leads back behind where the water, kind of the waterfall comes down. It becomes basically impossible to see anything as you guys enter sort of into this big mist cloud. The waterfall is not particularly large, but it is enough water that it's sort of creating a fog in the air that makes it very difficult to see, and you're basically having to shimmy along this this stone path. And Alar, your foot slips out from underneath you, and you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as you basically your foot goes out and you like down right on your tailbone onto the rocky ledge, and you get one very wet leg as it goes into the river below you. Brahm and Nuli, you guys kind of see him
Alar's
go
just
down.
Gonna, he's gonna wave you for it. Go get him. I'll be right behind you.
Alright.
And painfully drag myself up. Okay. Of course the half orc saw it.
Echoing down.
Alright, so you guys continue on without him. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, when I get myself back on my feet, I'll pursue.
Alrighty.
Oh, the music changed.
You work your way deeper into this cloud of mist obscured behind this waterfall, sort of having to feel your way along the rock wall behind you until Brahm is first. Who's first?
I was in that 20, so I probably got it first.
You will say you're first. You feel as you're shimmying your way along, you feel your leading hand slips around like a corner, basically, as the flat rock wall gives way, and you are able to kind of feel that there is a very, very narrow, maybe like just wide enough to squeeze sideways through crevice behind the waterfall that leads into the rock face behind you.
I started squeezing through.
Alright. So you hear some like squeezing noises ahead of you and like a scraping, and very shortly after you similarly feel this give way, and you can kind of hear Brahm begin to like inch his way through this this opening.
Rom, are you sure it's a good idea to go in there? We're gonna fit?
We're gonna find out.
I follow suit.
Alright. Make a athletics check, Noah. As you are wearing some heavy armor at this point.
24.
Okay. The fit is not great, and your gear is like scraping against this rock wall as you, and a couple of times you almost have to like shove yourself forward to keep moving. You easily enough are able to follow after him as you follow the sound of like scraping.
Over the sound of her scraping, I turn. I'm like, well, good thing we'll have the element of surprise.
Hey, you thought it was a good idea to fit in this rock.
Just keep going.
You work your way down what turns out to be about a 10-meter, slightly wavy, apparently naturally formed like crevasse in the back of this, behind this waterfall. And you, with like one kind of like, you guys are able to fully like expand your lungs as you come out. You pop out into an open area. Dark vision, yes.
Yeah.
Dark vision, no.
I don't think so.
Dark vision, yes.
Yes.
So, after a period, you guys all pop out into an area. Brahmin, Alar, you guys are able to make out, just in this sort of grainy outline of your dark vision, a completely dark, sort of naturally formed space where you guys are standing. It is high enough that you're able to stand fully upright, but like 2-3 feet further in, the ceiling takes a sharp dip to the point where, in order to like pass any further in, you'll have to basically almost like crab walk. Not army crawl, but like waddle crouch walk to keep moving. It only looks like it goes back maybe another 10-15 feet, and then you see like kind of the rock wall ends. There is what looks like a slight curvature, like there might be more around the wall. But what you guys make out from where you're standing anyway, and that sort of that back portion, nestled right up where the wall comes down and sort of meets the floor, there is like kind of a lump that looks like a rat's nest almost, just like nestled into the.
Nuala, stay by the entrance in case anything gets past us.
Alright. And I just like block the entire entrance with my body.
Pretty much.
Alar is going to forge ahead carefully. As he gets to the curve, this is where he'd expect a trap, so I guess investigation.
Sure.
I don't see a trap. If there is one, I don't see it. If there isn't one, I still don't see it.
So
That
you.
is a terrible die. I'm leaving that thing. You stay over
That
there.
dice and dice shell now.
Yeah.
You forge your way forward, hunching down. You kind of are peering around. It's a little hard to see in the dark. The space is very, very confined. And as you get closer, your attention is drawn to that like pile. It is a number of torn up like rags and blankets and what looks like it was maybe like linens and garments that could have been like plucked off of a clothesline. Basically, it's that type of assortment of stuff. Like maybe it was out to dry. It's all just been wadded up and like slightly shredded and kind of made into a sort of a pseudo, almost a bedroll. And your eyes land on the slightly oblong geometrical form of a crystal with a bit of wire wrapped around it and a loop of string, among a few odds and ends of other things, some coinage, a few bits and pieces of doodads and trinkets and things like that, some like food. All of this kind of catches your eye right before you then kind of like go back to checking out, like where you had been looking around the corner. And as you like turn your head, you find yourself face to face, no more than like 2 feet apart. You see these two like lamp-like black beady eyes staring at you from beneath a hood, as a creature is like pressed against the back, like right into. It doesn't continue anymore. It's just like another little nook, and there's like a creature like.
Oh my
Persuasion
God!
check?
It's a Jawa. I assume I also see all this.
Oh, that's fine.
As you kind of come around, you sort of are able to look around him, and you see a very small, like...
Yeah. It softly, quietly, with a 19 for persuasion. Not going to hurt you. No one's going to hurt you.
It goes... and like looks at its treasure nest a bunch of times, but it doesn't respond to you.
I'm going to try in Elvish. Same thing. No reaction?
No reaction. At this point, you do hear, you do get a verbal. It goes.
I'm gonna flip one gold into its treasure pile thing.
Okay. What languages did the three of you speak?
Just Orcish and Common.
Common, Draconic, and Dwarvish.
Oh, where are the languages? Celestial, Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, and Elvish.
Okay. Go ahead and make a nature check.
Everybody?
Just the two of you, because you can't really see.
Nature.
13.
We got a nature. Let's find out. Be a 7.
You can't get a good look in the darkness and around Alar and beneath this thing's hood, but you're close enough that you can see you are standing face to face with a very cornered and very frightened looking goblin.
Ah, it's a goblin.
Goblin.
Yep, it's a goblin.
That's the 6-year-old that everyone was looking for?
Goblins are tiny. If I don't get a look at the face, you're going to assume something that small might be a child. Give me 10 minutes and I can understand him, but I can't speak with him.
Well, understanding him is better than not. It's better than nothing.
Alright. ALR's gonna... and he's going to back away.
Did he have any reaction to me tossing gold to his...
He definitely noticed, but he at this point looks very terrified that you guys are gonna murder him. From what you can gauge from his reaction, he kind of like, you see him look, but he's like,
ALR's gonna back into the main area, and he's gonna spend 10 minutes casting as a ritual comprehend language.
Can someone tell me what it looks like in here?
Small room gets a lot smaller. There's a bedroll. There's a bunch of torn up linens and clothing that's been made into a nest. And around that corner is one very scared goblin who I believe is our thief.
I'm gonna like sit down in front of the door so I'm still blocking it,
Sure.
but I look less intimidating.
So you kind of go about your business, setting up your ritual. You put some components out. You spend some time scraping some runes into the stone, kind of musky stone, earthy floor to create this ritual. As you kind of do this, and some time passes, the goblin, you kind of hear him start to sort of like he's like kind of muttering to himself in the corner, and after the kind of allotted time has passed, and you feel a surge of magic rush forward from you. All of a sudden, the kind of guttural gibbering of this goblin still, you still hear it, but it almost like fades into like the background, and a sort of louder, clearer voice in your own native tongue superimposes over it in your mind as this comprehend languages spell takes effect, and you kind of catch a tidbit of what he's saying as you hear. You really got yourself into it this time, Gurkik. People are gonna murder you for sure.
Alar's gonna very carefully step around. Gurkik? You, Gurkik?
You speak goblin?
I understand, but don't speak goblin.
I don't know what I was talking goblin.
I can't. But I can hear you.
You understand when you talk.
Yes, yes.
Weird.
Alar wiggles his fingers. Magic.
Magic. No hurt, Gurkit.
No hurt.
Gurkit didn't mean to upset nobody. Just needed to get some shinies.
The shinies aren't yours.
Well, Gurkit know he need them though.
You have to give them back.
Huh?
We're taking the shinies back.
Ah, no! Then Gurkit not have anything for Verma! Gurkit need the shinies to take them!
What is he saying?
He took the things because he likes shiny stuff. He also coin for food, he said? You said?
He said if you take the shinies, Gurkik will not have anything for Verma.
Oh. Someone called Verma? I'm guessing that's might be a bride price.
A bride price?
I don't know about goblin mating rituals.
Ask him, attempt to ask him who Verma is.
Who's Verma? Verma?
Verma best female in village.
Goblin mating ritual.
About how much worth of stuff does he have, like in gold? Like how much is his stuff worth?
Like maybe 5 gold, maybe. It seems to be more about the like interesting doodads and trinket nature of it than like coinage value. And he, as you're like kind of looking over, he sort of proceeds to ramble, at least seeming to have understood that you like at least are following him far enough to know that like something about the, this Verma. Okay.
Verma's best female in village. She's going to take mates, but all the other males they bring shinies to her. Whoever bring the best shiny, that's your Verma pick.
Ah, okay.
Gurkik's smaller than other goblins, so Gurkik need to get the best shinies so the Verma pick him. Everybody knows that the pale skins have the best shinies. Well, everybody knows that the beards have the best shinies, but Gurkik in love. Gurkik not crazy.
Gurkik smart. Gurkik smart.
Yeah. Gurkik no. He just take extra the pale skins have, and then he bring best gift to Verma. And she pick him as mate.
What's going on?
He took the things to woo a particularly noteworthy female goblin to take a mate.
Did he ever try love?
It's not really how it works.
Yeah, I don't think that's how goblins mate or choose mates. I cannot believe I'm actually contemplating helping a goblin with their mating trouble. But I am.
We'll add marriage counselor to your
I need an hour to cast the Find Familiar spell. Then I'll have a nice, shiny brass brazier. I can also help the little guy out with.
Wait, why is a familiar going to help you get a shiny?
The familiar will help us with our investigation. Also, it gives me a familiar. The brazier is a component for me to cast a spell. After I've cast a spell, I won't need it again.
What if you need to cast a spell again?
That would mean that I would be choosing a new familiar.
Okay.
So,
Not to interrupt, but is you gonna kill me?
no kill.
No.
No kill. Alar is gonna sit down and he's gonna motion to do same.
He kind of like works himself into sort of a, cry. He's still very much like back into the corner.
Okay.
So now's when we kill him, right?
No.
No.
Right.
No plan A, no plan B.
Alright, fine. Plan C.
No plan C.
One of you guys move around a little bit for me? Yes, Twitch is saying that your guys' camera's frozen.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
Wiggle wiggle.
Well, you guys are the ones that...
Carlos, you want to
No,
mess with
it's
it?
this one.
Are you? Is it there? You're messing with it, or do we need to mess with OBS?
No, it's there's some nonsense going on.
Technical difficulties.
Please stand by.
We need one of those
I
like.
think it's fixed now. I think it's done being crappy. I think it tried to put itself to sleep.
Okay, well, I guess we'll keep an eye if.
I can see it from here.
I have it open. It's still frozen for me.
Yeah, no, it's
If you want to continue.
All right, we'll continue.
Okay.
We'll work on that on the side here.
Okay.
And for all you guys know, they could be like doing a full choreographed tap dance routine on the side of the camera. And you just won't know.
It's really impressive. I mean, the music, the mystery, now and forever.
Carlos has taken off his shirt.
Tabletop Legends. Alar's going to reach into his pack. He's going to hold out the brazier that he picked up. I need to do magic. When I am done, this is yours. After I'm done after I do the wiggle wiggle for an hour.
Oh, Jesus.
And then you never go back to village. You what you got plus this, go to Verma.
Wait, you're letting him take it?
I want to kill him.
What I already got passed up.
I need
Stop
him.
it. Good offering. Okay, deal.
I'm gonna be here. So he's gonna set the brazier down, throw the supplies in, and it's gonna take him a whole whopping hour.
I'm gonna try to make small talk.
Make me a match. Catch me a catch. I don't know the rest of the words.
I'm gonna try to make small
It's okay,
talk
we can't
with the
afford
goblin,
more.
but I don't
Yeah.
understand anything.
Once he lights his little fire to start his brazier going there, you're able to see a little bit. You can kind of see the gloomy outline of this like hook-nosed, green, very knobby goblin as he's sitting in the back, and you speak to him in a language that he does not understand, and he seems very concerned with the magic seems to worry him a little bit. So you get you get his attention, but he's quickly his eyes keep darting to see what Alar is doing.
I'm going to bust out my violin and begin to play to pass the time.
Alright, make a performance check.
Oh boy, my first bard check.
Your performance check.
Performance
Wait,
check.
Performance.
Gone black.
That'd be a natural 20. Look at that. I'm
What?
not lying.
What?
This is the best violin playing you've ever heard in your life.
I start crying. It's so beautiful.
So does the goblin.
So for his part, the goblin Gurkik is like.
I've never done this to music before. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's
Thanks.
The violin's like the Pied Piper. It's goblins.
Yeah.
Just go into a
He
trance.
seems he's very enthralled
There it
by
is.
your music.
Oh, it works.
We maybe get our kill. Holy moly! The stream went nuts. Oh, okay, it's back.
We're back?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, sorry.
We're back. All of us are back.
That was such a good performance check that like it actually fixed the
Fix the
screen.
computer.
The universe went
We're
mad.
on the
Outstanding
laptop charmer.
Your interdimensional violin playing.
Squiggly line, squiggly line, squiggly line. An hour later, just about the time I stopped being able to understand him, because it. Actually, no, I lose it about 10 minutes. No, I lose it just shortly before the spell completes.
So you complete your spell. What familiarity are you worth?
I conjure a celestial weasel.
All right. So, in a flash of
That's a sweet band name.
celestial weasel.
Don't you steal that! Don't you steal that! That's my band name.
TM. It's all live. It's live.
Somebody's registering that donation right now. Bitches.
And Alar is going to look down at the little weasel that probably appears right in the middle of the brazier, pick him up, and start speaking him into celestial. Hello there.
So the kind of the little ferret
He's going to tap on his shoulder.
makes ferret noises to you.
Oh, it's so cute. What's his name?
You can't see it.
Oh, I can't see it.
I assume when the
there's
spell.
a fire.
There's a little fire lit under the brazier that she can see by.
I dub you.
Celestial weasel.
Scooter.
Scooter the weasel.
Terrible.
You can cast Find Familiar. You get to choose the name of your familiar. Till then, button it.
So as the weasel, in a flare of bluish fire in the brazier, kind of, there it is, the weasel.
Hello,
What a fine weasel!
Here's itself.
This,
Celestial
ladies and
weasel.
gentlemen, is what a celestial weasel looks like.
Looks oddly like a dog. No longer unable to understand him, the goblin gives a harsh what you take to definitely be like a goblin curse, equivalent to holy.
Ayla's gonna use. Sorry, it's gonna get dark in here again. Aylar's gonna extinguish the water around the brazier, let cool for a bit, empty out the remaining ash from what was burned, and he's gonna set the brazier down right in front of Gurkik.
He kind of looks at it for a few minutes, and he sort of puts a finger on it real quick, and when it doesn't blow him up or something, grabs it and he goes over to his little nest. The excitement of his new treasure seems to have evaporated a lot of his fear that you guys are gonna stab him. And he goes over to his nest. He starts kind of packing everything into the brazier. He gets some of the blankets and you see him begin to create a little a hobo pack with a bindle out of it.
like handkerchief on a stick.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the poking on a handkerchief on a stick.
He starts to kind of tie this all together and casts a glance at you guys once he has it all ready.
Alright, Gurkik, Uvema. Okay, let's get out of here.
And he kind of bustles past you guys. He comes up to, as he gets up to you, and sort of squeezes around you, and you hear him scutter off down the little crevasse that you guys had gone in, easily just being able to shoot right down it.
That is the third weirdest thing I've ever done.
What are the first two?
Those are very long, involved tales, and I will tell you about them someday.
Ooh,
Well,
I look forward to that.
we did it, guys. We helped the goblin get laid. Awesome.
Like I said, third weirdest thing. Probably what? 7?
Oh, this
8?
is low on the list for me. Real low on the. This is not even top 50.
A lot more stories for you.
I'm excited for all these stories.
Alright, well, we've solved the minor thieving issue, and we can tell the sheriff the matter has been dealt with.
That is true.
I mean, downside is we don't have the materials to retrieve.
Yeah, not a lot of theft cases end being solved with us giving the thief more crap than he had in the first place. But okay.
What was his bride's name?
Verma.
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 Verma the lady
Vermin,
goblin.
but feminine.
Let's say,
Sure.
sounds like red.
His name was
Gurkik.
Gurkik.
If Gurkik and Vermin don't show up to help us in our hour of need 3 years from now.
They're the key to the whole thing.
We'll have to fight an army, and the leaders are Verma and Gurkik.
You guys will be. It'll be like your back's up against the wall. It's like all hope seems to be lost, and Gurkik comes over the hill like Gandalf the White.
With his 10,000 offspring.
Yeah, with all his children.
Go see! That's why I gave him the brazier!
Oh my god, they've done nothing but bang for 3 years? Look at all those kids!
Alrighty. So that resolves what you guys have been doing for the last hour.
We'll make sure to head our way out of the crevasse.
As you make your way out of the crevasse, we will.
Oh, God.
Climbing down a waterfall is going to be way more difficult than climbing up a waterfall.
Way easier.
Quicker, maybe not easier.
Yeah, how deep is the water?
We will real time back about an hour and a half ish to when you guys parted ways to the other group of Kel, Walter, and Osrius as they make their way to the east side of town to pay a visit to the Turner residence to inquire about the stolen little girl. You guys ask a few people for some directions kind of on your way. The town is not very big. It does not take you very long. It takes you no more than a few minutes to kind of cross to the east side of town. And you are directed to where the Turner residence is. You approach the house. It's a small, very humble-looking homestead, single floor. Looks like it's probably only a few rooms. There's a small fence made of clearly like hand-hewn wooden pickets. There is a finished wooden front porch on the front of the house with a small awning over it. A rocking chair sits off to one side of the front door, and you can see that there is what appears to be a very like a well-loved looking teddy bear has been placed upon the upon that chair. The door you see as you guys like kind of approach looks to be of it's like a much lighter color than the surrounding like wood of the house. It looks like it's been recently replaced, and you can just see the kind of the marks of newly repaired frame around the door. This is the air raid background music. Right off a little further east, no more than 50 yards off, basically the kind of dirt trail goes off out of town, like into the woods, and it's just trees. You do see a similar barricade, this one manned by, looks like to be, at least from what you can see here, there are like 4 of the home guard in that area. This is, you can definitely tell where you were informed, like they are maintaining a heavier presence on this eastern edge of town, as it seems like whatever has been going on has been like coming from that direction. But they don't really pay you guys any much mind as long as you don't like approach past the residence towards them. But just going up to the house doesn't really inspire a reaction of any sort from them.
Let's knock and see if anybody's home, I guess. I can go ahead and...
You guys should take the lead.
That's probably for the best of us.
I'm gonna stay back off from the porch. Kind of like
And I
beyond
guess...
there.
Knock. There is at your knock, there is almost an immediate noise from within as you hear somebody. Sounds like they like rise from a chair and quickly start to move across from the room, and the door swings open inwards, and you see, like, as the door opens, you then look down. There is a halfling woman standing on the other side of the door. She is early middle-aged. She has kind of mousy brown hair that currently is in sort of a disheveled type of state, as if she had like basically like slept on it at like a weird angle and not bothered to really do anything to tame it. It's kind of sticking out at angles. She has like deep bags around her eyes, which are kind of like red rimmed, as if she had either been recently crying or has been like just under like an enormous amount of stress. Her clothing is just a simple simple dress. Does appear to be kind of like rumpled, as if she maybe hasn't changed her clothes for a few days. And she opens the door with these like almost these wide, like sort of 1,000-yard shell-shocked eyes, as it takes her a second to like focus on you guys. And Osrius, where you're kind of like looming a little in the back. She doesn't even really react to like the fact that you're like a solid 7 feet taller than she is almost.
Good thing I stayed back here.
She kind of blinks a few times and she says, "Yes, can I help you?"
Mrs. Turner, we presume?
Yes. Who are you?
We've been volunteered to assist with the location of your daughter. Is there anything we can help with? Is there any information you have that maybe they can help us look?
I don't know anything that I haven't told the Inquisitor and her people, but if it'll help, yes, please come in. She kind of backs away from the door, leaves it open for you guys to enter, behind her.
Cool. Right. So, what can you tell us about when she went missing?
As you guys enter the room, Osrius, you kind of have to like hunch down a little bit, and all of the furniture in here is like, there's some chairs and tables.
No way
you fit on any of it. You basically have to kind of resign yourself to just be in a corner and try not to knock anything over.
This is great.
Yeah, it's perfect size for Cal.
I chose the right group.
Yes, you did. You never would have fit through that thin
She has her back to you as you guys kind of enter the room. Simple room. There are 2 doors at the back of what is sort of a joint kind of living space / kitchen / hearth. And then there's 2 doors in the back that you take to be like bedrooms potentially. She has her back to you as you guys enter. She's sort of over near the fireplace. There's a small fire going, and she has like a tea kettle in her hand, but she's just sort of like staring into the fire with it, and she's "Can I get you anything? Tea? I think I have maybe some food around here. Some of the other folks in town brought something somewhere. I'm sorry. Who did you say you were again?"
We're travelers from out of town, but we heard that there were some troubles in this area, so we were looking to offer our assistance when we heard about your daughter going missing. I have little ones of my own as well. I understand that fear. It's something I live with myself.
Right. She sort of sets the kettle down, and you hear sort of a kind of like a it's like a shaking hand puts it on the table, and she turns back. So what do you want to know?
what can you tell us about what happened? It seems like you have a new door. I heard it was kind of broken into, but...
Yes, it was a few nights ago. The middle of the night. My daughter, Mina and I, we were in bed, and she woke me up. She said she heard something from outside, and I gave a listen, and I didn't think I heard anything at first. So I told her she just must have been having a dream and to go back to bed. But then there was this awful noise at the door. Something slamming against it. And well, I told her to stay in the bedroom, and I went out and I grabbed a knife out of the kitchen. We live alone, you see. My husband passed away some years ago. And I yelled out to whoever it was to go away, but they didn't respond, and I just kept banging and banging, and it all happened so fast after that. The door just came crashing in, and his figure came in, and it was like I wasn't even there. He just knocked me aside, went right into the bedroom where Mina was. He took her. I told him to stop. I took that knife and I plunged it into him all the way to the hilt, I swear it. He didn't so much as flinch. Carried her right off into the woods. I tried to go after, but I hit my head, you see, when he knocked me over. And I lost them. And she kind of loses her composure and spends a moment where she seems incapable of speech.
I can only imagine what you're going through right now, but that seems strange that it would ignore you and go straight to her. Is there anywhere that she's played in the woods lately? I've heard of a lot of strange things going on, and maybe she might have seen something she shouldn't have, or found something strange that she interacted with. She told you anything about?
She, I don't think so. She doesn't. She knows better than to stray into the woods. I've always taught her it's dangerous out there. She hadn't gone anywhere recently, just in town. I've got no idea what that brute could have wanted with her.
What direction was the figure headed in?
East. He went to the east. I told the guards, I know they've been looking, but I don't think they found any sign.
And what did they look like?
It was dark, you see, but they weren't all that tall. Maybe only a half a foot taller than myself, but wide. When they came through the door and knocked me aside, it was like getting hit by a cart. They were, well, if I didn't know any better, I'd say they were a dwarf, about the right size. There is one thing I remember. There was a smell about him. smelled like the underside, you know, when you turn a log over. Musk. Rot. Smelled dirty.
I'm afraid I may be familiar with that scent. Even if they were dwarves at some point, I have a feeling they're not anymore.
Whatever he was, I'm telling you, I put that knife right into his back, as far as it would go. Not so much as a peep. Whatever he wasn't normal.
Yes, I saw the teddy bear outside. I think I understand wanting to wait for her to come back, but I think it'd be best to trust us in the guard to bring her back for you and possibly seek shelter with friends in town. I think that might be the safest.
Make a persuasion roll.
Can I do that? Can it be with the help action?
What would you like to say to aid him?
Like to say to her that I know how it is waiting for the ones that you love, the ones that you want to come back. But like myself and others that I travel with, we're all here for a reason, and we have to move. We have to keep going. Put your trust in us.
Go ahead and make your persuasion roll with advantage.
Oh, thank God. It's 14.
14? Yeah. She's quiet for a time. You get the impression that she is considering both of your words. And after a while, she looks to both of you, and to you as well, Kel, and she says, I appreciate the sentiment, but I'll tell you the same thing I told the Home Guard. I'm not a fighter, can't swing a sword. Whatever this monster is, they took my baby girl. I can't go and fight it and get her back. I have to rely on people like you, people like the Inquisitor and her soldiers to do that. All I have, all I can do is make sure that if my little girl does somehow find her way home, that she finds her mother here waiting for her. I'll not leave. I can't. Thank you, but I'm sorry. I can't. I have to stay here.
Well, that is fair and understandable. Perhaps it would be best to barricade for now then, in case somebody else returns.
Some of the men in town put in my new door. It's sturdier than the old one. She points, you see there's like a small sort of like hutch beside the door. She's been pushing the hutch in front of the door at night. It'll have to do for now. She kind of looks over you all again. She says, I'm sorry I can't be of more help. I've told you all I know. But please, if you find out what's been happening, find my little girl. Let her know that I love her, and please just bring her back to me.
Kel, anything you think might help? Anything else we can ask or offer?
You're very brave, Miss Starter, for staying here despite everything that's going on.
Please, Amelie. If you're here to help find my daughter, we can be on a first name basis.
If there's anything that you need, if you feel unsafe, you can sign for us at the Blue Harpy Inn.
Oh, right.
They'll know where to find Ozri's here. It's hard to miss. I did have one more question. On the night that Mina was taken, or on any nights leading up to that, did you happen to find ashes outside of your door?
Outside of my door. No, but when I was cleaning up after the thing that took her, well, I just assumed it was dirt from outside, but there was maybe some black ash that was in the house. I didn't think of it at the time. Is that important? Does that have something to do with this?
It might. I don't think anything is certain yet.
Right. Well, I wish you luck then. If there's anything that I can do for you, anything that I have is yours.
If there are any details that you think of, or if you think you need any help, please let us know, and we'll let you know as soon as we know anything. We'll do everything we can to bring Mina back.
I will. Thank you. Thank you all. She kind of goes and gives each of you like you guys both get a hug, like sort of around the middle of the chest, and she sort of gets like your like
hug his
thigh.
What is this?
This is affection, Oz. It's okay.
She is showing her appreciation.
Please escape to the Blue Harpy Inn in case the house becomes compromised again.
Of course, they've had at least somebody just outside on the road there ever since the home guard arrived, but I'll know where to find you if I need to. Thank you again.
I think we should go back up for our suspicious picnic.
All right. Well, with that, you guys leave the Turner residence, and you leave Amelie Turner behind. It is a little bit. Your errand took less time than theirs did, so there's kind of a little bit of like waiting around. But eventually, you guys kind of see coming down from the direction of the north part of town in the falls, New LeBron, and Alar with a slightly damp trouser leg.
What happened to you guys?
Come approaching.
We found her.
We got a goblin lady.
What? What now?
The specifics of that, however, we'll have to wait until next time because it is 10 o'clock, and I think that's a good stopping point for tonight.
Yay.
Alrighty.
Mug.
Episode 2.
Mug.
Down.
Episode 2, down. Join us next week when we break our record again.
Yeah.
Episode 4.
Threesome.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. I had a lot of fun.
you.
I hope the cast did as well. I hope you, wherever you are viewing from, did also. Just a reminder, if you want to put any last-minute bit donations in, please do so now. We are gathering bits all month long
Get those
to make
bits.
a donation to the Zephyr Foundation for their support
Bitty bits.
of
Teeny bits.
people with autism in our kind of local community here. Thank you to our presenting sponsors, the 8th House and Marble Moon. Thank you, Proficiency Bonus, for having us have a slot to play our D&D game. Please subscribe to everything. You just type Proficiency Bonus and Tabletop Legends into everything, and then just any subscribe button that you
Everything.
see, just hit it.
Just hit it.
Just go
Although-
crazy.
Smash that like
I
button.
don't think we have an Instagram. We should get an Instagram.
We don't have an Instagram. Maybe we'll
Don't
do
say it on the
that.
stream. Don't say it on the stream.
Maybe by next week.
And,
Instagram.
and Tabletop Legends
It's already
Instagram
gone.
just got registered, and we know now we're gonna have to pay
TM.
somebody for it. Yeah, so continue to check in with Proficiency Bonus every night of the week for all of their various streams. Storm King's Thunder, Tomb of Annihilation, Delve and Dash, Mystic Hour, Insight Check. The ones that I can't remember, Curse of Strahd. I didn't call it the Dracula one this week.
Also, I will be on Mystic Hour this week, so tune in for that.
I might also be on Mystic Hour this week.
And
We're
now
not
that he
sure.
said that, he's definitely not going to be on.
And now I definitely won't be. And, yes, so you have like 30 more seconds to type Legends into the chat if you want to enter to win the
Mug.
Magic AF mug created by Marvel Moon Studios.
Mug.
Um,
Mug.
Mug.
That would have been a great time to have done the drawing.
Anything any of you guys got or want to say or shout out before I do this drawing here?
Mug.
Mug.
And we broke the microphone.
Chat is also chanting mug.
You have a hive mentality all of a sudden. The cult of the mug.
Let's see how many times
The
it
order
takes
of the
me to
mug.
try and type this in here before I get the right
And the
order
winner
of
the mug
spaces.
is Tantrum.
Oh, did it right now.
Did it work? work.
Proficiency bonus won our mug. I'm assuming that's DM producer Michael. So,
Oh.
producer Michael, say hello in chat. He counts. He's a guy who's watching the chat. He's coming to mug.
It's definitely not pandering.
No, he wants to. No, he says he wants to redraw.
Okay.
Good guy, DM.
Wow,
That's
this,
a fluke.
this system is really making it look like we rigged
I-
all of these things.
We're not rigging it.
It is pure RNG, folks. Random number generators.
All right.
He counts.
Once more with feeling.
Mug.
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 Mug. Mug.
Mug.
Yeah,
Mug.
okay,
Mug.
the Great Scambino was drawn in the
Oh!
So, Great Scambino, if you're in chat, go ahead and type something so that we know you're there,
We'll
and
get
we
you
will
your
give you a mug.
information.
Yep.
We'll get your information. Alright, we'll give him a... There it is, alright.
Hello.
Great Scambino has won
Really
the mug.
scammed us out of that mug.
Alrighty, so we will get information from Great Scambino on where to send our mug, and congratulations and thank you, and I'm rambling, but I think that is it, right? Yes? Good?
Yeah.
We're good.
Happy Tuesday, happy rest of the week. I love you, but not in a weird way, and
I love you,
go ahead
but
and,
in a weird way.
go ahead and take us out, Carlos. Bye.
Enjoy your Taco Tuesday.